Across the nation, the new car industry is raising some severe warning signals that are becoming more difficult to ignore. Dealer lots are overflowing with brand new cars, but no customers are in sight. Why do customers just say no thanks to escalating insurance premiums, punishing interest rates, and creeping price increases? But which cars are having the greatest trouble? Based on the most recent Car Edge Market Day supply data, we are analyzing the top 10 models that have been unsold for many months, including some for over a year. Make sure to click the subscription button before we go so you don't miss any further updates. Number 14. 2025 Infiniti QX55. In an attempt to capitalize on the couple-like SUV trend, Infiniti introduced the QX55. However, this model is having trouble making an impression in 2025. Its foundation is ancient, which is a major factor. The QX55 competes with more recent, ostentatious models like the Mercedes GLC Coupe and BMW X4 by using the same architecture as the QX50, which was first introduced in 2019. Under the hood, the Infiniti seems and feels a step behind despite its revolutionary sound. The QX55 2-liter variable compression turbo engine has received criticism for its poor fuel economy and erratic throttle response. And further wildcard is reliability. Over the last several years, Infiniti's brand image has been unstable. With an average selling price of around $53,900, the QX55 is more affordable than its German competitors. However, with a market supply of 88 days, customers are aware that investing a little more results in superior driving dynamics and a higher resale value. In a highly competitive market, the QX55 has an uphill road ahead of it. The Ford F-150 Lightning. The F-150 Lightning. Poor sales performance is hardly surprising. It's too costly to start. Many customers are wondering what they're really receiving since the average selling price is $70.09 to $39. With an EV logo and a somewhat higher price tag, the Lightning feels and looks too much like a regular F-150. Customers demand a striking car at $71,000 or more, and many would prefer to purchase a Rivian R1T or a Tesla Cybertruck. Second, worries about dependability are rapidly increasing. A significant recall has been issued for the Lightning because of a steering hazard and a probable battery fire danger brought on by short circuits. And usefulness in the actual world? It's making people look sick. The truck's usefulness for those who require it for heavy labor is limited by towing, which severely depletes the battery, with almost 9,546 trucks lying unused on dealer lots throughout the nation. 12. Nissan Murano 2025. Nissan eventually gave the Murano a long overdue makeover for 2025 after almost 10 years without a complete redesign. The inside now has luxury features like two 12.3-inch displays and optional massaging seats, while the exterior has a sharper appearance with design influenced by the electric Aria. However, not all of the news is positive on the surface. Nissan replaced the outdated 3.5-liter V6 with a new 2.0-liter 4-cylinder variable compression turbocharger. It is less powerful than the V6 it replaces, but it is smoother and comes with a 9-speed automatic. The larger problem is that Nissan's brand is being severely impacted. The idea that Nissan is finding it difficult to compete with more established brands like Toyota, Honda, and Hyundai has only been strengthened by years of leadership instability, financial losses, and quality issues. The Murano is mounting up quickly as a consequence. Dealers now have 1991 days worth of market supply and around 15,000 unsold units. 11. Ford Mustang Mach-E 2025. Since its debut, the Mustang Mach-E has had difficulties, and the cooling EV market is making matters worse. Although there was a lot of initial excitement as EV demand decreased and competition increased, purchasers soon began to turn away. Extremely rapid depreciation is now one of the Mach-E's main problems. Some sources indicate that its value might plummet by as much as 50% in the first year, a major warning sign for prospective purchasers. Perception of value also keeps declining. Ford had to hike costs by $600 to $2,000 due to recent tariffs, which made it much more difficult to defend the Mach-E in comparison to the year before. To more seasoned EV competitors. Consequently, there are now 15,897 unsold units in dealer inventory, backing it up to 19.8 days. A once promising nameplate now runs the danger of giving the dealers inventory problems. Number 10. Cadillac CT4 2025 isn't helping the Cadillac CT4, which was never a great seller in the first place. With no complete change since its 2020 launch, the CT4 is already 5 years into its first generation and lagging behind in a market where consumers want the newest and best. Competitors with greater brand pull, superior technology, and more innovative designs include Genesis and Lexus. In addition to its dependability issues, the CT4 is difficult to defend at an average selling price of $47,236, when rivals from South Korea and Japan provide more refinement and higher resale value. Currently, dealers have 2,724 unsold units and a 2,700-day market supply. Number 9. Volvo XC40 2025. Despite its reputation for safety and design, Volvo's XC40 is already lagging behind the Swedish crossover. Buyer trust has been damaged by a recent rear-view camera recall that affected over 400,000 cars. Its cause isn't being helped, however, by significant power outage complaints and a below-average dependability rating from customer reviews. Customers anticipate more at an average selling price of $48,114, particularly when competitors provide more reliable and modern technology. With 7,111 units sitting on dealer lots and a market supply of 209 days, the XC40 is a strong indication that safety is no longer sufficient to move inventory. Before moving on to the next one, hit the like button if you agree that the ordinary customer can't afford the pricing of cars these days. 2025 Land Rover Discovery. Number 8. For a long time, the Land Rover Discovery has positioned itself as the SUV that combines elegance, off-road capabilities, and usefulness for families. However, buyers aren't biting in the current market. The Disco is locked in neutral with 1,668 unsold units and a market day supply of 209.n. Why? Its average selling price of $75,392 places it firmly in the premium market. To start, however, the experience of ownership is not necessarily commensurate with the cost. The brand still has issues with reliability, and this finding is no different. Cautious customers are deterred by reports of electrical gremlins, infotainment issues, and uneven build quality, particularly when spending luxury-level money. Furthermore, the modern luxury SUV buyer has an abundance of options. Competitors from Lexus, Honda, Mercedes, and BMW. Texas offers better on-road etiquette, more sophisticated technology, and better quality reputations than even more recent competitors like Genesis. 7. Alfa Romeo Stelvio 2025. Alfa Romeo has always relied on performance, style, and a dash of Italian flair to attract aficionados. Yet in 2025, the Stelvio isn't drawing enough attention. Buyers are unwilling to commit despite its snappy acceleration and crisp handling. Brand perception is a contributing factor. Even devoted Alfa Romeo owners acknowledge that owning one often entails more problems than you'd anticipate at this pricing range, and the car still has long-term dependability issues. In relation to cost, the typical selling price is little more than $55,000. Not excessive, but enough to cause purchasers to reconsider when rivals like Lexus and BMW have more upscale cabins and better resale value. With 75 units on the market and 218 days of supply, inventory is rapidly running out. The Stelvio is officially listed as a hard-to-move car in the industry. Despite having all the Porsche DNA, exhilarating performance, high-end construction, and wow-factor electrification, the Taycan has failed to turn a profit in 2025. Market forces are against it despite improved batteries and quicker charging. Depreciation has been harsh and sales have fallen by over 50%. Now some Taycans are being sold for up to 60% less than MSRP, which is a startling reduction for a six-figure Porsche. However, Kelley Blue Book estimates that it will lose $57,000 in value over the course of 5 years, making it one of the priciest cars in its class to buy. This is all having a negative impact. With a market day supply of 2041 days, the Taycan is now much more durable on dealer lots. Range Rover Velar 2025. The Range Rover Velar has a beautiful appearance, but once ownership sets in, the luster wears off. A huge red flag initially, with no new generation anticipated, this model is on the verge of discontinuation, which puts pressure on consumer confidence and resale value. There are serious reliability issues, with regular problems ranging from timing chain failures to unpredictable electronics. Consumer Reports continues to rate it below average. We were left stranded by the side of the road due to horrible mechanical problems, according to one owner forum. It's in the bottom of its class, according to Kelley Blue Book reviewers. The devaluation process is harsh. Over 5 years, expect a 62% value decline, bringing the resale price down from an MSRP of around $74,800 to about $28,600. All of this leads to increasing problems on dealer lots. SLR's current market day supply of 241 days and 3,379 unsold units are a glaring example of how crushing depreciation and poor dependability can overcome even excellent design. 2025 Volkswagen ID4 Another EV with a significant depreciation rate. After 5 years, Car Edge data indicates a 60% decline in value, making it less valuable to resell than many rivals. Additionally, buyers are criticizing the alleged futuristic experience due to infotainment malfunctions, screen blankouts, and erratic gear changes. Even though the ID4 costs between $40,000 and $50,000, it is losing market share in a market where competitors are offering greater quality, smoother interfaces, and higher resale value. Since the Tesla Model Y has superior range, technology, and long-term value, many consumers would choose it. Dealers are now displaying symptoms of worry. 4621 ID4s are still available for purchase, representing a 262-day market supply. Number 3. Audi A6 2025. Although the Audi A6 has long been a reliable option for mid-size luxury sedans, it is now becoming outdated in a market that is rapidly expanding. Audi's current A6 is nearing the end of its generation and will shortly be replaced by the electric e-tron model, a significant financial outlay on a nearly obsolete model. It's not infallible when it comes to depreciation. Over a 5-year period, Car Edge projects a 47% decline in value, leaving you with around $33,280 in residual value. Its rivals aren't sleeping, however. The Mercedes E-Class, Genesis G80, and BMW 5 Series are more recent and well-designed models. Customers expect more value for their money since the A6 is still running outdated platform code. What's the outcome now? With a market day supply of 36 T8 and 2,854 unsold cars on dealer lots, the A6 demonstrates that even pleasant, reliable sedans are susceptible to changes in the market. The second is the 2025 Audi Q4 e-tron. Customers are abandoning the Audi Q4 e-tron, which debuted as a sleek little premium EV in 2025. A single significant factor: not very good value. In an EV market that is failing overall, the Q4 e-tron is rapidly losing ground as consumers get pickier about which models provide the best quality, range, and ownership experience. Next is dependability. Although it has an official rating of average, actual users are complaining about ride quality, charging port problems, and software bugs. Not what you would anticipate from a high-end EV. There is also intense competition. Customers in this price range are often choosing the Hyundai Ioniq Q5, Kia EV6, or Tesla Model Y because they all have smoother technology, more range, and generally superior long-term value. Dealers are now observing the Q4 e-tron stack, which has 2,559 unsold units and a market day supply of 3,088 days. When? 2025 Ram 2500. In an attempt to recover lost revenue and end a prolonged sales decline, Stellantis recently showcased its updated Ram 2500 and 3500 pickups, but it's not functioning as of now. With dealers sitting on a market day supply of 3,092 days, the Ram 2500 is now the slowest selling car on the market. That's more merchandise than a year's worth. And it's obvious that something isn't clicking with consumers, since 833 units are still unsold. Why? One big problem is high costs. Customers just aren't biting, and many dealers are still sticking to their prices and refusing to provide significant reductions. The Ram 2500 isn't moving despite new technology, better engines, and a redesigned look. This degree of dealer backlog is a clear danger flag in a market where utility and loyalty are key factors, and eventually prices may need to drop. This concludes the video. Please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this video. There will be more likes in the future. See you at the next one.